tackle national issues in light of Christian values on Usapang Kapatid, Pasakalye, and Radio Veritas. Watch our uplifting reflections on Kapet Pandasal and The Word Exposed, as well as our acclaimed TV specials. Listen to the inspiring and soothing music of Jesuit Music Ministry's original artists as you read our spiritually enriching books. To learn more about JustCom's mission of evangelization and education, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, justcom.ph. To give a face to the faceless and a voice to the voiceless, that we may recognize Christ in them and hear His story in theirs.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan.
Mga Katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Calling on all young male professionals. Do you wish to live an extraordinary life? Are you tired of the routine and mundane and long for a dynamic, adventurous, and even dangerous life? Do you wish to make your life count and hope to make an impact long after you're gone? Do you wish to live a life of service to society, to country, and to dear Mother Earth? Then you are the one we are looking for. Consider the Society of Jesus. Join the Church's gallant army and turn your world upside down. Call the Jesuit's Vocation's Promotions Team, 426-6101, local 3406. Once again, 426-6101, local 3406.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Sabi nila, life is like a cup of coffee. Pwedeng sweet at puno ng flavor, pero madalas matapang and will hit you hard. But in the end, you enjoy it depending on how you make or take it. So choose your own brew. Take a break and savor life in its rich aroma. Samahan nyo kami, dahil a cup of life is best enjoyed with friends. Welcome to the Parable Cafe. Brewing inspiration, one cup of story at a time. Every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. only on Radio Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Akong bahala sa iyo, kaibigan ko.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpa at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibigpida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugo. Todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil.
Do you sometimes feel confused or lost in the complications and complexities of life? Do you feel drained, listless, or exhausted from the daily burdens and responsibilities? Why not seek our campus ministers on air every Tuesday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon? Listen to our counselors from the Loyola School's Campus Ministry Office as they ground our lives in our faith, in our school's spiritual tradition. Campus Ministers on Air. Be guided, be inspired, be blessed. Listen to our Campus Ministers on Air.
A Gracefield Tuesday afternoon, friends. Welcome to Campus Ministers on Air, the radio program of the Loyola School's Office of Campus Ministry, where we try to find God in anything
and everything under the
under
sun.
the sun. I'm Mike Ramirez. I am the Campus Minister for Senior Students here in Ateneo de Manila University. Pakilala ka naman, partner, this afternoon.
And I'm Brother Nato. I'm a scholastic, a Jesuit scholastic that's assigned also to the campus ministry office, especially for first years and fourth years. Thank
Siyempre,
you, Mike.
brother, baka may gusto kang i-shoutout habang nagsisimula yung programa natin ngayong hapon.
Tomorrow I'll be giving another recollection to the baseball team. So hello to them.
Wow! I wish you good luck, brother Nato. No?
Thank
So
you,
mamaya
Mike.
ipapakilala natin yung mga guests natin ngayong hapon. But of course, maganda sigurong simulan natin yung programa natin ngayon with an opening prayer. So maybe we can pause for a moment sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig ngayon. If you're doing something, pwedeng mag-pause muna tayo for a while. We will give space to silence and prayer as we continue to remember that we are in the most holy, loving presence of the Lord. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Maaaring yung iba po sa atin nasa trabaho, maybe traveling, maybe relaxing after a full meal, but maybe it's good to just slow down and offer this moment to God. So we will now make our respective sign of faith, or you may just bow. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Where there is fear, I cannot lay. Where there is pain, could, yet there are lots I cannot move. Lord, give me hope that I may be your hope today.
Online viewers can answer so that we can read also later on. Ano
Sure,
bang tanong
brother.
natin ngayong hapon, Mike?
Siguro magandang katanungan para sa ating lahat, sa lahat po na nakatutok at nakikinig ngayong hapon, no? Kung hindi po sa kasalukuyang panahon ang inyong trabaho, ulitin ko, kung hindi po ang trabaho nyo ngayon ang inyong gagawin, ano kaya ang ibang bukasyon na pipiliin po? Ulitin ko po, no? Kung hindi po sa kasalukuyang panahon ang trabaho ninyong ito ang inyong gagawin, ano kaya ang inyong magiging trabahong pipiliin? Ayan. Ayan.
Oh,
So,
diba?
mamaya tatanungin din natin yung mga guests natin tungkol dito.
Exciting.
Yes. And of course, brother Nato, ipapakilala na natin ang mga makakasama natin ngayong hapon because this is a month of vocation, November. Tama, brother Nato?
Oo, month of vocation ngayon. Oo. Nawala yata ako, Mike, no? Anyway, connectivity problems. Pero in sync pa rin ako ngayon.
Yes.
Alright, sige. Salamat.
Ayan. So, ipakilala natin yung ating mga makakasama ngayong hapon. And what would be fitting other than asking them to introduce themselves to our listeners and viewers. So, Brother Andre, Brother James, I would like to request you to introduce yourselves to our listeners and viewers this afternoon. Maybe we can start with Brother Andre. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good afternoon po everyone to all the listeners of Radyo Katipunan. A pleasant afternoon to you all. So I'm Brother John Andre De Paz, Jesuit Junior Scholastic here in Loyola House of Studies. So I'm originally from Bohol, but resided in Cebu for a long time. So I'm also a registered doctor. So hello, and to you, James.
All right.
Should I go ahead?
Go ahead, James.
So hello everyone. Hello to all listeners of the Radyo Katipunan. I'm also a Jesuit junior, and Brother James and Ramirez, a Jesuit. I come from Iligan City in Mindanao, and like John, I'm also a registered doctor. So thank you to Campus Minister for giving us the opportunity to promote vocations.
Thank you, James. Consultation hours din po daw ito. So if you have concerns regarding your health, you can type in the comment section.
Parang
So we have two
telemed.
doctors.
Parang telemed. Two doctors pala yung guests natin ngayong hapon, mga kaibigan. All right. So siguro, brother nato, no, nabanggit nga ni Brother Andre, is from Bohol and the other one is from Iligan. Tama ba, Brother James? So, wow. So, ikaw, baka gusto mong magpakilala, brother nato. Saan ka ba?
Ako taga Quezon. No? Quezon Province.
Southern Tagalog.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, tanungin na natin yung mga makakasama natin ngayon. No? Kasi sabi mo nga kanina, it's Vocation Month. We are going to promote the vocation to the Jesuit ministry and Jesuit vocations. No? Actually, yung recent mga episodes natin, one time nagbanggit tayo na may nakasama tayong brother ang kanyang vocation, and yung isa naman madre, nun. Ngayon naman, kakausapin natin yung makakasama natin ngayong hapon. So siguro, tungkol ito sa vocation vis-a-vis discerning the will of God. Kasi hindi mo naman talaga mailalayo yung idea ng discerning the will of God sa bukasyon. Kasi ito ay isang pagkilala kung saan ka tinatawag ng Diyos. No? So, unang katanungan siguro na gusto kong tanungin, no? What helped you pay attention to this invitation to come and see the process of entering the life of a religious before? And how did it all start? No? Para kay Brother James at kay Brother Andre, no? Kung siguro before, nag-oopera sila sa operating room, no? Paano dumating sa punto na naimbitahan sila to come and see and undergo the process of entering the life of a religious? So whoever is comfortable sharing first, Brother James or Brother Andre?
Yeah, hello. Okay, I'll proceed. For me, probably what helped me to connect with the word vocation, with the aspect of vocation, for me was listening. Since the word vocation, it really comes from the word call. So I think every one of us is being called to something, into our truer identities of who we are. And even that's the first principle and foundation of the Jesuits. We are made, all creatures, all created things are made to glorify and praise the Lord. And in that aspect also, it was listening to what was God's call towards me. So for me, it was a difficult way of really listening because sometimes God whispers. So sometimes it's not as dramatic or as loud as we expect the vocation. So we have different vocation stories. So some really from childhood already has a very strong call for religious life. And others though go to the process discerning religious life later on in their lives. So that happened to me. I'm a late discerner. So I entered the society around 37 years old already. So I did not think, I did not discern that much of religious vocation until I was like 36 or 37 already. So it's that. And vocation does not only mean religious vocation. So it means being true to yourself, because not everyone is called to religious vocation. So some are called to single blessedness, and some are also called to married life. So God asked of us that we have to be true to ourselves also, and that's why we need to listen to those little whispers of the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Andre. How about you, Brother James?
Uh, yeah, for me, I just remembering my own vocation story and thinking about what helped me, thinking about vocation itself. No, I think it goes back to one's relationship with God. So you cannot listen to a God who you cannot have not been relating to. So if for those who are considering religious life, I think it's safe to begin where you are in your relationship with God and ask yourself, how do you relate to God, and uh, do you want to deepen that? So that's what happened to me, in my own experience. So if one relates to God, let's say, as someone who is truly loving, if you're really with full conviction that God loves you unconditionally, and because he loves you, he knows what is best for you, then you would want to listen, what his plans are for you, what you would want to listen, what he thinks about you, what's your identity in his eyes. No, so I think that's where discernment comes in. If you have a relationship with God that's really becoming more intimate, becoming open, becoming yourself in front of God as himself also to you. So in the context of my own, so initially, I was interacting with God in my own way. I was looking at God in a way that was me being duty bound. So I was thinking to myself, I have to follow God's will. No? That is what is expected of me. So that's how I've been always with my parents. And then along the way, I eventually realized God is really loving. No? He gives you options. Actually, He is free. You're given freedom to
Yeah.
choose. Yeah, and then the thing here is now what. But you have to also consider for yourself, what does God think? You're the best, because the best plans for you are His plans. No, but you have to be able to listen in the first place. So as what Brother John said. Now, what helped me in that sense, when you come to that portion of that, considering religious life already. So you would then have to consider the elements of being able to listen more. So what are these things? Like being able to pray, that's one. Being able to listen to God's whispers during prayer, in scriptures, in sacraments. And another thing, in looking back on my own experience, was actually your grounded experience in your day-to-day living. So you have to see also some indicators, like what others are saying, giving you hints, towards what they think you should, because these are also God's ways of communicating to you. And then I found out on the another, this is my own experience, is to integrate that with your prayer. So bring it back again to prayer, and then try to listen again to what God is probably trying to say to you in those experiences now in prayer, with a more open disposition. So I think these are the things that helped me in considering religious life for.
Thank you, Brother James. Actually, yung binanggit ni Brother John at Brother James kanina, yung personal relationship with God, napakahalaga yon sa pangingilatis. So if we are seriously considering which vocation we really are for, it doesn't have to be religious or consecrated life, of course, single blessedness, or married life, or even in career paths. No, napakahalaga yung ugnayan sa Panginoon bilang elemento para mas makita natin kung saan talaga tayo dinadala. No, di ba, Brother Mike? Brother
Alright.
Mike, di ba, Mike?
Right. Pwede naman kasi magkakapatid naman daw
magkakapatid
talaga
tayo sa Panginoon, di ba?
Ayun, amen. So
We
sa
have
lahat
a
po ng mga
Father in heaven, ganyan.
Amen. Amen. So sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig ngayon, nabanggit po ni Brother Andre and Brother James, listening to the will of God, trying to see where the Lord is taking you. Pero of course, that would involve challenge. Sabi nga dun sa isang klasiko from Father Kilong Kilong, no, it would be unthinkable to discuss theologically the mystery of vocation. Vocational discernment and lifelong commitment without first broaching the mystery of God's will. Kasi mahirap talaga siya eh. Ano ba
Ang
talaga
lalim
sinasabi
naman
sa'yo
yan.
ng Diyos? Tama nga kasi, kaya siguro brother Nato, no, kung hindi ganun kadali at dahil malalim naman talaga yung bukasyon kung titingnan natin, dito nakakatulong siguro yung structure, hindi lamang pananalangin but listening to other people as well. Kaya kapag nasa bukasyon tayo, meron tayong tinatawag na spiritual director, mga taong tumutulong sa atin to sift through, no? Yung sabi mo kanina, pagkilatis, para hindi lang tayo nag-iisa sa pag-discover dito sa God's will na to. Kasi ang deep nga niya at ang lalim niya kung tatarukin natin sa kailaliman. So kailangan mo itong palutangin and to sift through with the help of other people. And sometimes, structure would help us as well. Tama, brother Nato?
Correct. Oo, tama.
Actually, mas curious ako ngayon dahil nabanggit nga ni Brother Andre and Brother James, no? Doctor sila pareho dati, bago sila pumasok sa kapisanan. So, curious question, brothers, no? Kung hindi ka nag-Jesuita ngayon, kagaya ng tinanong ko kanina sa ating mga tagapakinig, what could have been your career, no? Kung sakaling hindi ka Jesuita, tuloy-tuloy ba ang pagtahak mo sa landas ng pagiging isang doktor o saan kaya kayo dadalhin ng inyong bukasyon kung sakaling hindi kayo nag-Jesuita? Kung sakali lang. Napapangiti si Brother James. Baka gusto niyong mauna.
Natigilan silang dalawa.
Oo, natigalgal.
Okay, sige, I'll start. So, during that phase, actually, when I was considering religious life into the Society of Jesus, I was undergoing specialization training in cancer treatment using radiation, so radiation oncology in St. Luke's. So if I would not have continued, pursued the religious life and totally ignored the call, I would have continued in that career path. Yeah, so that would be that.
Wow. Interesting, right, Brother Nato? And how about you, Brother Andre?
So for me also, I just finished my training in cardiovascular surgery, and I'm still currently an underboarded. So supposedly we're going to take a certifying exam for our society or the fellowship of the thoracocardiovascular surgeons, and also my general surgery. So that was my plan. I had already planned out, and after my plan was after passing those, if ever I was blessed to pass those exams, so I will be fully certified already to undergo sub specialization. But then that was part of the vocation call, because there was I just finished training, so there was time already to sit and reflect, and I had to ask again myself, do I really want this? Because I went through life na parang the expectations of the society, from this is from one course to another, then next stage, what is next? So because my peers were going into subspecialized training, so there was a mad rush for everything. So now there was time enough to sit and to reflect, and I did ask myself, what is it you really want, you really desire? So, and I had to ask myself, if God were to give you all of your plans to make it into fruition, He will give you everything. I was planning to get married, to have children, to have a successful career and everything. And I really imagined. So it was like, later on, it was part of the Ignatian. It is a process in Ignatian discernment pala, that you put yourself in that situation. So I imagined myself, what if I have all those things? Will I be fulfilled?
Right.
Will I be happy? Will the emptiness in my heart be completed, be filled? And the answer was a resounding no. So I became scared. I became afraid, because that was that was not what I expected the answer would be, and it made me ask, what therefore do I desire? And I think that's an important step in vocation. So, of course, personal relationship with God, but how does that translate also? It translates into desires. So sometimes desire is a loaded word. Catholics or Christians are taught that desire sometimes is bad or wrong, but in Ignatian spirituality, we are taught that desires come from God, the big desires, the big letter D. So I think that's also where God meets us. His will and our big D desires meet. So
Yeah.
that's where self-fulfillment becomes actualized. So that's that is vocation. Your deepest desire and God's will meet. So that is vocation. And how do you listen to that? By listening to yourself, listening to others, and listening to God. So all those are important elements. And that was my plan. And another alternate plan was I was applying supposedly for Doctors Without Borders. So there was like a missionary to be a humanitarian missionary, not necessarily a religious missionary. But later on, did I discover that there were seeds of religious vocation already planted. I just failed to notice it earlier. So it really needs help from spiritual directors, personal relationship with God, with others, counseling. So there's a growing process. There's an evolving process. And you have to trust that process also and take a leap of faith also. So don't be afraid of your big D desires. And that's where God speaks to you because He will meet you where you are.
Ayan. Kaya brother Nato, don't be afraid daw,
Don't be
sabi ni
afraid,
Brother
Brother
Andre.
Mike. Oo.
I-highlight ko lang yun para sa mga tagapakinig natin ngayong hapon. Kasi definitely, sa pagpili ng bukasyon, narinig naman natin sa mga guests natin ngayong hapon, that will involve fear, no? Kasi hindi ka naman certain sa bawat landas na tatahakin mo. No? But nakikita ko sa binanggit nilang dalawa, nagsasanga pa rin talaga sa dulo yung landas, eh, no? Pipili at pipili ka pa rin sa dulo, no? Kung sakali nga, sabi ni Brother Andy, kung tinuloy niya ang pagdodoktor, pwedeng Doctors Without Border, for Brother James, pwedeng oncology, no? So, magsasanga pa rin sa dulo, ano man yung bukasyon na tinatahak mo. So, how about you, Brother Nato? Baka meron kang gustong itanong sa kanila ngayong hapon.
Oo. Ang maganda lang din doon, Mike, no, na the possibilities for them were very real. The options were very real.
Right.
Siguro yung mga tagapakinig natin, lalo na yung mga kabataan ngayon, napakaraming mga options, no, which also appear very real. But in the case of brothers Andre and James, for example, because the options are very real, mas buo rin siguro. Sa tingin ko nakikita ko base doon sa mga binahagi nila, mas naging buo yung pagpili. Oo. Mas niloob nila yung pagpili. Kasi hindi natin nabanggit kanina na kaka-pronounce lang din ng vows nitong dalawa nitong August, no? August 2, 2022. Fresh na fresh, di ba? From the novitiate. So, the holiness.
So, batchmate nga pala silang dalawa, right?
Oo, batchmate. We were actually together in the novitiate. I was just
si kundi kanila.
Oo.
Alright.
So, nabanggit ko yun kasi mahalagang bagay, mahalagang aspeto rin ng pagiging Jesuita yung community. No? So, baka magandang mag-share din sila Brother James at si Brother Andre ng mga karanasan nila bilang mga batang Jesuita na tulad ko, we are young Jesuits, no? Jesuits in formation, na mga pwedeng hanguan, no, ng pwede nating maibahagi sa mga tagapakinig natin ngayon. Paano ba yung buhay ng isang Jesuita? Sige.
Pasilip, no, brother, no?
Oo,
Papasilip
parang
natin.
glimpses ba?
Sige. All right. Go ahead, brothers.
So currently we are now in Loyola House of Studies, and here in Loyola House of Studies we're parang three communities. So there are first studies, which includes juniors and philosophers, those who are taking philosophy pala, not philosophers, and those taking theology. Sometimes we fondly call them theologians and our fathers. So for us juniors, we're in this part of formation that we are going to study, because Saint Ignatius and the first fathers and all of the Jesuits believe that study is important in adding your capacity to help in your specific ministries. So this is a learned ministry. The Jesuit religious vocation is really a learned ministry. So you have to be capable, and you have to be endowed also in special ways. So you need to really study to increase your capacity so that you can help minister. So that's why we undergo several subjects. We take several subjects in juniorate, where English and languages, and also art and culture, so that we are more open to the world that we are living in. So this is the part, parang you correlate it with the gospel descending from the mountain. So you are now going into the world. So of course you have to know the world that you are living in to make the gospel a lived experience in a way. So you have to be also both godly and, sorry to use the term makamundo, but not in the bad sense na makamundo.
Yes.
But you have to know the world also, not rather be worldly, but know the world that we are living in. So
Right.
and our life also involves, as mentioned by Brother Nato, a big part of that is community. So that's why also we will really go back to why the first fathers, the first Jesuit fathers, really banded and created the Society of Jesus, formed the Society of Jesus, because they realized that community was an avenue where grace flows, where the Holy Spirit will become, the famous adage, become union of hearts and minds. Also during formation, during specific experiments, you will realize the value of community. And that is also an affirmation for you. So if you are a person that despises community, you despise groups in a way, maybe that's also added information for you regarding your vocation, your discernment. Could be a deterring factor, but don't be also quick to judge, because some are started introverts, but then they realize the essence of community. And
Yeah.
to go back to our GC, I forgot GC 34 by yun. Community is also mission. So as much as grace flows through the community, sometimes the challenges are also
Right.
in the community.
Right.
So especially for us Jesuits, that there's now no one fit mold for us. So iba-iba yung mga personalities. Of course, there are differing opinions, but still to see the brokenness and see also the beauty of that. So that is religious vocation. You cannot separate one. Gusto ko lang tong beautiful part ng
Right.
Jesuit life. Ito lang. Sa happy-happy lang ako. Then sa sadness, ayoko na. So hindi ganyan. So kailangan buo din. So you
Right.
look at it realistically and honestly. So that
Oo.
is where we are currently.
Oo.
Tama.
Sariwa pa talaga, no? Sariwang-sariwa kay Brother Andre. Meron pa siyang GC kanina. Ano ba yung
Oo,
GC?
GC
Group chat?
34.
No?
Oo,
General
GC 34.
Congregation. So, anyway, i-search nyo na lang po yun, no? Sa mga
Hindi pa
nakikinig.
yun, general chapter.
Oo,
Congregation.
congregation. O, di ba?
Alright.
Iba rin yung intindi mo dun,
At
Mike.
saka, i-highlight ko yung sinabi niya ha,
Oo.
the community will make you pray.
Oo. May grace, no? There's so much
Oo.
grace and redemption in community. Ikaw naman, Brother James.
For me, so yeah, Brother John already mentioned a lot there. Just to add. So yeah, we are in the part of being scholastics. So for Jesuits, our main goal or objective as a corporate body, a religious body, is really to aid souls. So everything information is sort of connected to that. Is channeling all kinds of resources to aid us being able to minister others, as what John said. So this is in terms of many things. No, one is intellectually. So we're going through sorts of studies. So even before going through philosophy, we're gonna go through humanities. No? Our communication skills will be improved. our appreciation for anything that's human, or anything human like art or culture. So those kinds of things are being aided for us. Another thing is the affective part. No? So affective part would be our own emotional aspect or psycho-affective parts, which is very important and very human in a sense. So this will be attributed or being helped by community. No?
Right.
And we don't have to really divide it in that. No? Community actually serves everything also intellectually, spiritually, and effectively. So that's very true now. No? I would like to say that community is sort of a human thing, and then all kinds of human has a community, and it so happens that religious life, we ourselves also have that community life, but
Mm-hmm.
we are not the ones who have chosen that community or chosen those members. Rather, it is God who put us here.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important perspective to look at. It was not us who really, forcefully, willfully entered, but it was God gathering us to form some kind of mission, His mission. So I think that's a very important thing to always consider when thinking about community life.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing would be, as what Brother John already mentioned, a lot of grace goes through community. So what kinds of graces? One would be the third week kind of for those who have undergone. So those who just living with another who is different and being able to give space for another to live his own life, his own free will, that's not in accordance with yours. No? So being able to give enough space in your heart to accept another brother, being himself, being authentic, being totally different as yours, and being
Right.
able to be love him, no? To love him. So that's in a way that's living the kingdom in a sense in the community, to really love another as who they are. So that is the value of community, and by doing that, you're able to develop sort of the way, it's a natural way to be able to love others outside the community now, to those who are you ministering to. So that's one aspect. So even the challengers are in a way helping each one. And then another would be, of course, on that those are not just the difficult graces, but even the joyful ones. So eventually, you will find in a community people where also you are in a way there's a common ground for each one, since all of you are being called into the same by the same God and by the same agenda, of His mission. So eventually, you're able to find a common ground, and also even in the concrete sense that in the personality wise, you're able to find others who will be life giving to you as well. No, will give joy to your own life. Will give you fruitful relationships. So yeah, these kinds of things are quite good. No, and we ourselves have, and I myself has received this a lot, from the novitiate and even up to now in this phase of the scholastic life. So I guess that's in this is in regards to community life.
Mm-hmm.
Ayan, no? Maraming salamat, Brother James and Brother John. Ayun, no, napakahalagang bahagi ng pagiging relihiyoso, hindi lang ng pagiging Jesuita, yung pamumuhay kasama ng iba. At ganito rin naman yung ating simbahan, di ba? No? We belong to one Christian family, one Christian community. And of course, another aspect of religious life is the vows, no? Nabanggit ko
Yes.
kanina, na kaka-pronounce lang na ng perpetual first vows itong August, no? And that the vows actually together with the community can actually assist us in being more available for what God really desires us to do, no,
Mm-hmm.
as a society of Jesus,
Right.
and as Jesuits, no. Ngayon, baka bago tayo mag-transition dahil malapit na rin pala tayo matapos, baka magandang magbahagi rin si Brother James at Brother Andre ng kanilang mga holy desires, no, mga apostolic desires. Meron na bang
Wow.
we are still in formation, but
Uh-uh.
it may be good to cultivate, no, these desires that you already have, that may be surfacing, no, time and again. Mapakinggan din ang ating mga nakikinig.
Whoever is ready may share. Brother Andre, Brother James.
Okay, I'll go ahead. So, baka yung ibang taga-kinig, parang hindi alam ko ano yung holy desire. So, those are desires that are in our heart, the big D, that are ordained by God. Parang He speaks to us by little desires, by little whispers, and sometimes it's big also. But usually, you do it out of yourself, not for yourself, rather. So, for me, that holy desire was maybe even the childhood dream of being a missionary. Uh, Initially my thought of being a missionary was not in the religious context, just a medical missionary somewhere. So hence there was a desire to enter also Doctors Without Borders. And it's amazing really how God gathers your desires and also His will and combines it. So just as you think na wala na yung desire na yon kasi I'm entering religious life, but here is an avenue that you can still fulfill that big desire, that holy desire. So for me, one holy desire is to be sent on missions, maybe outside the Philippines, maybe in third world countries who are needing not only priests but also doctors. So some kind of healing in some way. So the ministry of healing is another apostolate of the Society of Jesus. So that's why that's part of my holy desires. Maybe to go to East Timor or Cambodia or Myanmar or join the Jesuits. What do you call this? The JRS also.
Jesuit
JRS.
Refugee Service. No?
Yeah. So those are holy desires. But of course, your desires can also evolve. So just be open to it and listen to your heart and listen to God. So so far, that's the desire that is in my heart.
Salamat, Brother John.
For me naman, I started out in the novitiate. Clearly, there was a movement of what to do about the medical health profession thing, no? Because I entered the society actually with that kind of mindset, no? Being able to serve not just in the spiritual aspect, but also in the medical aspect. So in the novitiate, I had no clue. I was sort of lost in that sense because I'm quite a fresh graduate. I don't have a technical expertise really in a medical field. So now there's some hints na in towards that. I'm trying to discern again. No? So there's another discernment going on. I'm trying to gather data again. There's a spark in my heart about it. No, like entering into psychiatry as a specialization. So in that sense, I'm gathering data from others also. So there are some other people who have affirmed this kind of discernment, and I'm also gathering the needs towards it. No, so I'm asking also Father Jordi, the executive director of Emmaus, what he thinks about that. No? So he says, that there's really some concrete need. So I'm in that phase pa naman. I'm still open towards it. No, I'm still gonna immerse myself in data that's more concrete in a way, probably to immerse myself in the actual ministry of accompanying in that field. So I'm still a long way to go in terms of this, no? But I'm still open, quite open to about it. So that's it. No? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother James, for what you've shared. Ayan. So, actually, Brother Nato, ibabalik ko lang na dahil tayo ay nagdiriwa ngayon ng month of vocation this November. Nandito nga tayo at nandito si Brother Andre and Brother James to promote the vocation to the Society of Jesus. Itatanong ko lang kung merong gustong i-share si Brother Andre regarding the information. For example, I'm a young man, professional, Catholic, and single na interested na silipin ang buhay at ang proseso ng pagiging isang Jesuita. Ano ba yung unang-una niyang pwedeng gawin? Like, yung first contact.
Okay. For those who are interested, as mentioned by Mike, if you are a male, Catholic, young professional, or fresh graduate, then you think there's a desire, even a curiosity actually. So don't be also too grand in your mind na kailangan you have a big desire and it's all clear. So sometimes it begins with curiosity also that can happen. So if you have that, you are those things, then you also have the curiosity or the desire, and you want to even just meet the Jesuits and to know, because you're curious who we are and what is our charism, what are our ministries, then you can connect with us by contacting us. You can go to our Facebook page, so www.facebook.com/Philippine Jesuits. So that is our website, and you can also be updated by our postings on what is currently happening in our Jesuit vocations. So I will also take this opportunity to plug that we have a vocation seminar. So this coming November 20, that's on the Solemnity of Christ the King, Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. here in Loyola School of Theology. So if you are interested, please go to that web page, the Facebook page, or you can also contact us to our cell phone number, 0917 Jesuits. Pero baka kasi hindi na analog yung mga cellphone nyo, so you don't know already. So 0917-537-8487. I'd like to repeat that again, 0917-537-8487. So then usually we have vocation seminars every month. So if you're unavailable at that time, please still contact us. Then also, if you are living here in Ateneo campus or you're in the campus and you want to visit also our vocations office, so we are in Loyola School of Loyola House of Studies, the ground floor. So just look for us there. We can hang out and you can talk to some of the scholastics. And if Father Eric Escandor is also there, you may talk to him also. And you talk to someone if you have a desire. So even go into spiritual direction, have a spiritual conversations with someone, or really one way to develop that desire is to talk to the Jesuits, get to know us. Okay, and you can visit also Brother Nato in campus ministry and the other Jesuits around the campus.
Single male Catholic college students also, no? And not only young professionals, no?
Wag mahiyang magtanong.
Kung may right. Sige. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ayan. Thank you very much for sharing that. No? So shout out kay Father Eric Escandor. So siya ngayon yung head ng ating vocation promotion sa Society of Jesus. Actually, Brother Nato, baka masagot nyo itong isang comment dito sa poster nyo. Sinare nga namin ito sa campus ministry office eh. Kasi meron ditong Meet the Jesuits discernment seminar. May nag-comment, Romar Chuka. I think siya, vlogger or
Anong sabi?
Sabi niya, may pagkain naman, di ba?
Of course. Oo, hindi naman nawawala yon. In any gathering.
Natawa ako sa niya, sa isa pa niyang comment, if ever po, pwede ko po bang makuha ang menu? Ayun.
Aba, meron pang menu? Oo. Para naman po merong sense of surprise, hindi po muna namin ibigay.
Ipapakita ang menu, oo, tama. Nakakatawa lang yung
surprises.
Pero alam ko, joke lang to ni Robert. Baka interested din siya, no? So, kahit nasa ang field ka, no? So, you are welcome to come and see, no? To be in this vocation. Ayan. So we're actually transitioning towards the end of our episode this afternoon. So aside from dun sa mga binanggit ni Brother Andre a while ago about contact numbers or people to talk to, office to visit, ano ba yung masasabi yung pinaka the best way to prepare? So to somehow prepare yourself to come and see. Kahit ikaw, Brother Nato, baka meron kang idea na gusto mong i-share sa mga nakikinig natin ngayong hapon, college students, young professionals, no? How one prepares entering a religious life ba? Ano yung unang-una nilang pwedeng gawing preparasyon bago sila mag-text, bago sila mag-email, or umattend ng vocation seminar at magtanong ng menu ng pagkain sa discernment seminar?
Wala naman. Hindi, joke lang. Wala naman talaga. Come as you are. No? Come as you are. Yun lang. Hindi naman siya masalimuot, no? Sasalimuot na lang siya kapag nandun ka na. Hindi, joke lang. Pero, really, on a serious note, just come as you are. As in you are. No? As you are. Ulit-ulit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Natanong mo na ba silang dalawa about dun sa tips or what
Oo nga pala,
are
oo.
your
Tama tayo
advices? No,
dito.
baka gusto mong itanong ang iyong mga kapatid sa kapisanan.
Ano ba yung mga tips for those who are discerning, no? Ano yung mga nakatulong sa inyo that you would like to share with others?
Okay. For me, probably as parting advice that I also heard from those ahead of us is really to nurture that desire. Because kung andyan siya, so para siyang buto, butil pa lang siya. So kailangan mong i-nurture talaga. And just mentioned ang first na sinabi ni Nato, yung come as you are. Then no need to pretend. Kailangang yung identity mo, medyo alam mo kung sino ka, then what is your desire, and that you are beloved by God. So, no decision yet. Parang you might get frozen. Kailangan ko mag-decide agad-agad. So, even during our vocation seminar, hindi ka pinapa-decide agad-agad. So,
Right.
just
It's a
be
process.
open. Oh, ang openness mo is very important. The first thing to acknowledge is that's grace. Acknowledging the call of God, that itself is grace. So be grateful with that. So it means that God is communicating to you in a real and personal manner because He is whispering, He is talking to you. So that desire in your heart is grace also. So kailangan tayong magpasalamat dyan, i-acknowledge. Pagkatapos, other practical tips also, you can start also sort of researching in a way. What is vocation? You can look at our webpage again. There are guides there, there are helps, and go through the internet to learn about the Jesuits also. And you can do some spiritual reading and spiritual direction. And of course, as mentioned by Brother James, it's important our personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So that is very integral. You cannot have a vocation without that. So how do we develop our personal relationship with God? So it's through prayer, the sacraments, and really conversing with God as if it's not just parang nasa isip lang natin na Diyos pagkatapos ni Diyos.
Yes.
So it really has to be personal because the call is also personal.
Yes.
May dadagdag ka? May dadagdag ka, Brother James?
Siguro apart from what was already mentioned, so I think I would like to bounce back on that, come as you are. So I think that's the best disposition to have when entering. So the brothers who will be accompanying you are accompanying you as you are. No? So I think you can be helped best by being who you are, not with some sort of images or something. No? So be in who you are in your own context, in whatever that will be. No? And then God will be able to help you in that sense, whether it's into or not. There's not going to be any decision yet. So yeah, just be open.
Ayan.
Alright.
Thank you, Brother James. No?
I'm also happy now we have Brother Andre and Brother James this afternoon. Tsaka maganda ring banggitin, Brother Nato, no? Kapag pumasok sa Society of Jesus, hindi lamang po automatic pagpapari ito. Hawak ko ngayon po yung flyer
Ay,
ng
wow.
Hermano.
Maraming salamat,
Ayan,
Mike. No?
Hermano.
Dinala ko
Hindi
dyan
lang
sa
po
office
pagpapari
ninyo.
automatically ang patutunguhan ng isang nagdi-discern na Jesuita. Maaari din po silang maging Jesuit brother. Tama, Brother Nato? And of course,
Correct.
magandang tapusin itong episode na to, no? Nabigay na rin nila kung ano yung mga dapat maging contact numbers natin and channels, no? Siguro, isasara natin yung episode sa pamamagitan ng common question na tinatanong natin sa lahat. No? Where did you find God this week? So I'll be asking everybody, including you, Brother Nato, to share
syempre.
briefly about this. No? Where did you find God this week in the value of finding God in all things? You wanna start, Brother Nato?
Sige, I'll start. Ngayon, no? God is with us. Actually, I feel so inspired by what has been shared, no? Napakaraming nating narinig ngayong hapon. At ayun nga, no, na nandyan palagi ang Panginoon para sa atin as we have seen in the vocation stories of Brothers James and John, sons of Zebedee. Okay,
The
thank you,
fishers
Mike.
of men. The fishers of men. Brother James, you wanna go next? Where did you find God?
Actually, I was about to say the same thing. No? So if we found God, I found God here, as in the things that we shared, sharing our own lives and sharing how God is calling us and continues to love us. Yeah.
Salamat. And Brother Andre?
For me, aside from the here and now, I experienced God through the apostolate. Especially, there was one mission station that I went to that I was not expecting there, but I felt really a strong connection and strong evidence and consolation from God there. So people and community, that's where God is.
Ayan. Ako naman, Brother Nato, natagpuan ko ang Diyos ngayong linggo dito din sa inyong lahat, no? Talking about vocation and being able to talk about vocation right at this moment is a manifestation na nagiging malinaw din para sa akin yung personal journey ko sa tulong na rin ng mga Jesuita. Ayun.
diba?
Masarap maramdaman na nagiging malinaw kung saan ka tutungo dahil may mga tao at kapisanan na tumutulong sa'yo. Ayan po.
Yeah.
So maybe we can end this episode right now. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng tumutok at nakinig sa atin ngayong hapon. So magpapaalam na po kami hanggang sa susunod na Tuesday, same time po, 2 p.m. Magkita-kita po tayo muli. And again, this has been your Campus Ministers now signing out. Thank you very much. You say goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Mike. James.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Radyo Katipunan.
Do you sometimes feel confused or lost in the complications and complexities of life? Do you feel drained, listless, or exhausted from the daily burdens and responsibilities? Why not seek our campus ministers on air every Tuesday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon? Listen to our counselors from the Loyola School's Campus Ministry Office as they ground our lives in our faith, in our school's spiritual tradition. Campus Ministers on Air. Be guided, be inspired, be blessed. Listen to our Campus Ministers on Air. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill